Chapter 35. Apocalypse. The conflicts have been going on for 2 months now. The equality of the opposing forces is blocking progress and a solution to the problem. But today our fear is greater than usual. Chap and his ilk are about to sign the latest military aid agreements with Grul, the world's second most powerful country. Their common interests and the planet's economic future have led them to this alliance. The day the coalition takes part in the war may well be our last. Our concern is heightened by the fact that, according to well-informed sources, Grul is providing the government of Epoxia with technology almost as powerful as that created by Chap, including instantaneous displacement technology. This technology, and all the other advances conceived by Chap and his team, are the fruit of revolutionary work. But it's not all thanks to Uncle. Amethyst has joined us, along with several other brilliant scientists. Together, they are developing the warrior technologies used by Gabriel. In fact, he's a kind of test soldier. The one in charge of testing new weapons and warfare techniques. The similarity of the techniques used by the Grul raises certain questions within our group. Could there be a traitor among us? As for me, I'm really starting to feel hopeful again. An implant has finally restored my mobility. I was afraid that Clara would gradually become detached from a weakened man. Suddenly, a hologram materializes in the cocoon, putting an abrupt end to my reflections. Nathan. Get up and come here. Your brother's in trouble. Confusion reigns in the command room. The tension and sadness of some only feed my own worries. I ask. What's going on? Gabriel and the rest of the group have been ambushed. Burial had given them the mission of intercepting a military convoy, supposedly loaded with ammunition. But the bunkers actually contained sigroids. Sigroids what? From the information I've been able to gather, this is a revolutionary piece of equipment developed by Grul. An evolution of your brother's equipment. What happened to my brother and his men? They've taken refuge in a tower in Sector Garanta 13. Why can't they destroy them? It's not quite that simple. Your brother was, in a way, a prototype, and he's the only one in the group who can cope. Why didn't you equip each of us with these new applications? Jacques' temper flares. I haven't had the time, Nathan. This technology is still at an experimental stage. And what are they doing in that tower? Gabriel took his men there to shelter them. But the sigroids are pouring in now, and I don't know how long they can hold out. I'll decide. I want to go, Jacques. My uncle finally turns his gaze from the giant screen to me. The serious expression on his face is hardly reassuring. I quickly realize that the situation is desperate, as he himself no longer believes. You can't go, it would be suicide. You're not equipped like he is. And we're just going to sit here and wait until they're all dead? There must be something you can do. Wasn't it you who said there was always a solution? A code red signal appears on the main screen. It's Burial. Gabriel and his group are in dire straits. I can't give them any support, we're being attacked by glimmers in the sky ourselves. On my measuring instruments, I have data from. The image blurs, then nothing. Burial. Jacques clenched his jaws. You want to help your brother? Then follow me. Just then, Clara, who has come to join me, clutches my arm, trying to hold me back. I look at her. She immediately understands and loosens her grip. We set off. Jacques is running ahead of me. I start running myself, without realizing it at first. Then I realize with emotion that my legs are working again. Uncle takes me into his secret laboratory. Until now, even I hadn't had the privilege of entering this area. An airlock opens. In the darkness, control screens and a multitude of indicator lights flicker. At Jacques' word, light bursts forth and I open my eyes in amazement. A slender contraption, connected to numerous devices, hovers in the center of the vast laboratory. levitating a meter above the floor. Its aggressive appearance tells me of its warlike vocation. However, the absence of a cockpit intrigues me. I mention this to Jacques, who tells me, "Indeed, there isn't one. Because it's useless." I don't understand. Where am I going to set up? Nowhere and everywhere. I give my uncle a puzzled look. "It's your mind, Nathan, that will go into the machine." "What? And your mind won't stay trapped in this machine. After your mission, I'll give you back your original body." I grit my teeth and make up my mind immediately. "All right, tell me what to do." Time is against us and I can't afford to waste precious minutes in useless reflections. I settle into a transfer sarcophagus. In a moment, my mind will be transferred from my body to the machine. The sarcophagus closes on me. The sudden darkness makes me anxious. An increasingly shrill whistle blasts my eardrums. Eventually, the sound diminishes. I experience a curious sensation. A glimmer appears, then an image takes shape. I can see. I'm out of the sarcophagus, out of my body too. I feel part of the machine. I am the machine. My vision is global. Nothing escapes me. Jacques waves his hand and sends me a silent message that reaches me telepathically. "Here I am, Gabriel." I take off, or rather, I teleport. I'm fully aware of my faculties. I feel perfectly at ease, and need no explanation, training or demonstration. I just know. I arrive almost instantly at the scene of the fight. I see my brother below me, still blocking the sigroids. Their movements are slowed. I can finally make out the exact shape of these machines, which were previously just tiny streaks of light on our screens. The most astonishing thing is that all these elements are almost motionless on the ground. Everything has frozen. Gabriel stands in the air, the last bulwark between the rest of our group and the opposing war machines. Horrified, I see two of them launch themselves from the top of the building. They dive down on Gabriel, who hasn't seen them yet. The machines fire. I spread a force field of such intensity between myself and the building that the enemy bursts explode on contact. I take the shock, the waves shaking me violently. Below, my brother straightens his head without understanding what has just happened. The sigroids hesitate. The swarm turns towards me. My sensors warn me that I've just been spotted and targeted. I've created a diversion. My brother can pull himself together. His body radiates a powerful light, but thick black smoke billows from it. Perhaps he's been damaged. All the machines suddenly fire in my direction. I barely had time to dodge. Their crossfire grazed me at close quarters. My turn to dance. 3 machines suddenly attack me. I teleported 30 meters below and retaliated with heavy fire, leaving them no chance. The explosion is spectacular. Other adversaries appear. A release to the left allows me to veer towards them and unleash a siphon blade. This particularly wide beam eliminates 2 of them in one fell swoop. The others retreat and stop in the distance. The blows I've just dealt them seem to have dampened their ardor. We challenge each other. I turn on my heel, while the enemy machines come to stand menacingly all around me. My spy systems inform me of the data exchanges between the ground bases and the levitating sigroids. Uncertainty is total in the opposing camp. Their devices are nothing more than powerful, non-thinking combat weapons, devoid of any survival instinct. And therein lies my undeniable advantage. I'm picking up multiple shots, area sweep. Within a 2-kilometer radius of me, the 30 or so aircraft are firing indiscriminately in all directions. Sneaking through this jungle of radiation is impossible. I'm in great danger. Automated defensive system. 2 micro black holes form, one above me, the other below. They immediately suck in enemy fire. Being at equal distance from each of the cosmic powers, I don't suffer the same fate. This manifestation of universal forces lasts only a few nanoseconds, but it's violent enough to make the whole country tremble. This device is a real deterrent, and I soon hear. Clear. Back to base. The wasps return to their nest. The battle is won. Gabriel, you're saved. I look at my brother, he's on his knees, head bowed. Physiological fluids are gushing from his mouth, and smoke is still escaping from his battered body. The fact that he's not repairing himself proves that he's badly hurt. I join him instantly. He raises an extinguished gaze in my direction, then collapses in a pool of synthetic blood. Tractor beams settle him inside me and I call Uncle urgently. He's the only one who can save my brother. Jacques. Gabriel is badly hurt. He needs urgent medical attention. I know. The others are back. We're waiting for you. The return journey is just as quick as the outward, and when we arrive, a medical intervention group takes charge of my brother. They set him up in an intensive care cocoon. I have to leave the machine. The decorporation process is completed fairly quickly, and my spirit reintegrates my inert body. It doesn't take long for the sarcophagus to open. Fat Bill is there to greet me. He too seems to have suffered in battle. He holds out his big hand to help me out, and says, "Follow me, Nathan." I obey. The door opens. Clara is here. Everyone stands around the cocoon containing Gabriel. Clara throws herself into my arms, her face streaming with tears. The room is plunged into an eerie half-light. A heavy silence greets me and all eyes turn to me. I approach my brother hesitantly. As I pass, hands brush my shoulder. Words of comfort are whispered. I'm beginning to understand. Gabriel has ceased to live. His body is there, in front of me. In a trembling voice, Jacques confirms his death. My mind goes blank. I feel dizzy and run away. I need solitude. I want to scream. My brother sacrificed his life to save us all. Clara followed me. She takes my hand. Not a sound leaves her lips. Some beings emit an astral light. Gabriel was one of them, and his disappearance takes me into the depths of darkness. I've been prostrate and withdrawn for 2 days now. I've stopped eating, washing, and talking. But it's time. I'll have to make my departure for somewhere else a reality. If somewhere else, I must join him for the cremation. I enter the cremation room. Jacques steps forward and questions me. Do you want to make a speech? I take it upon myself to find the strength to speak. Emotion gives me tremors in my voice. But I get the hang of it and manage to string together a few sentences about my brother. About what he was to me. The strong, courageous man he had become. The worthy and exemplary person he would always be in my eyes. There was a lot of my father in him. Then I finally broke down. I burst into tears. The hero is not infallible, let alone insensitive. Clara takes over. And Jacques concludes the ceremony. His coffin is engulfed by the incinerator. In a fraction of a second, there's nothing left of him. Just a few grams of ash and tons of memories. I've been prostrate and withdrawn for 4 days now. I've stopped eating, washing, and talking. Jacques insists on force-feeding me various substances to tint my dark thoughts pink. But I refuse. I want to live my pain to the full. To suffer is to bring to life a memory, an emotion, an image. Clara joins me in the bedroom. Nathan? She sits down beside me, takes my head affectionately in her hands and says, Gabriel is gone, but there's more to come. I don't want you to take any risks, I don't want to lose you. But I know your brother would have wanted you to take control of the situation. You've got to get up and face the world. For him, for me, for all of us. We're counting on you. I can hardly hold back my tears and finally answer. Give me a little time, Clara. Listen. I've got some important news to tell you. I think it will help you. I question her with a faded gaze. Hers has lit up with stars. I'm pregnant. I suddenly think of the rape she suffered in prison. I'm ashamed to have this thought spontaneously cross my mind. The drama we've been through robs me of a spontaneous, intimate joy. But Clara has certainly interpreted this doubt, this concern, because she puts her hand on my cheek and whispers in my ear, "It's really yours." The doubt or fear disappears instantly. I hug her wildly. An intense warmth spreads through my whole being. The light that will grow within her will guide my steps. This child will reawaken my vanished faith. Little by little, Clara's support bears fruit. Every day, this child becomes more and more present, more and more essential. He is what rebuilds me. And finally, the memory of Gabriel pushes me forward. I must fight again. My mind is made up. I'm going to become totally artificial again. I'll have to be at least as powerful as my late brother.